let's move to Dwyane Wade. First of all, let me get this get that phone number off. So Dwyane Wade was now I like when Dwyane Wade get to talking, man, because he be spilling he be dropping some breadcrumbs for real. Like he really wants y'all to know what the real is. So he was talking about, the sacrifices that some people make. And the reason why I got Tim Duncan up there is because I think Tim Duncan made the ultimate sacrifice. I mean, D Wade is talking about the sacrifice he made for rings, but he also formed the super team. So I'm not going to really honor his sacrifice as much as I'm gonna honor Tim Duncan's sacrifice. So we're going to play the clip from D Wade talking about sacrificing for rings, but I'm going to use the example of Tim Duncan instead of D Wade because I think it's more relevant to use Tim Duncan than use the guy who formed the super team with LeBron James and Chris Bosh and Ray Allen, right? But it's very interesting what he said. We're going to have a good conversation behind this one. This is what he said.
It's going to be a lot of arguments about, oh, he's better because he scored more points. Oh, he's better because I like his game better. Oh, he's better because he won more rings. This conversation never goes anywhere. Let's use a hotel. All right, a hotel has 30 floors, okay? We're talking about an access key. When I look at the game, I look at who has an access key to get to the 30th floor, okay? So the 30th floor access key in winning, I can't go to 30. Bill Russell's up there. Jordan up there. I may be on floor 25, but I ain't at floor 30. That doesn't mean anything to me. It just means that I don't have access to go to that floor. So if you have not won a ring, it doesn't mean you're not colder than somebody who won a ring. You just don't have access to go to the ring floors. Winning a ring is a whole different game than being a great player and having stats and having this and having that. This is the sacrifice. I can have more stats if I didn't care about winning a ring.
Yep.
So this is a different conversation.
Another ball, man.
Hey, keep going. We got to play some more wide up. We got some power here.
Okay. He said at the end, I could have more stats if I didn't care about winning a ring. Very true. When he won that one ring with Shaq very early in his career, and then Shaq retired, and then all the veterans that was on that team retired: Gary Payton, Antoine Walker, Jay Will, Mike Miller. Well, Mike Miller didn't retire. He wasn't even on that squad either. It was who was the shooter they had? It was Jason Capono. They had Jason Capono, Antoine Walker, Jay Will, Gary Payton, Alonzo Mourning, Shaq, D Wade. It was a nice squad, but older. So once they left, it wasn't a contender anymore. And now it's just D Wade. Now you got to rebuild around him. And he had some years where he got MVP votes. I think he finished third one year, maybe. So he was having some very good seasons, but not a lot of winning seasons. And he wasn't getting back to the promised land. He knew it was tough, right? But if he would have kept playing like that, he would have accumulated a lot of stats. He would have been the number one for about the 4 years that he played with LeBron. He was the number two. If he would have stayed being the number one, who knows where his stats would be, right? So, but what he's saying is that I sacrificed my stats to get rings, and it's a couple of ways you sacrifice that. One, like what D Wade did, I'm going to join a team, or I'm going to have a better player join my team, or I'm going to join a team that has a better player, right? So that's how you sacrifice. Or like KD, I'm just going to join a team with another great player on my level like Steph, and now obviously I'm not going to get as many touches and as many shots. That's a way to sacrifice, right? Or you can do like Tim Duncan and sacrifice your game for the greater good of the team, right? And that's the example that I like to talk about, sacrificing your game. Imagine having all the tools in the toolbox to play multiple styles, multiple positions, right? For Tim Duncan could have been a 30-point per night guy if he wanted to. Y'all know what Tim Duncan averaged for a career? Tim Duncan career average is 19 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. But he got 5 rings. And everyone has gave him the title as the best power forward of all time. 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists. If his numbers don't tell us he's the greatest power forward of all time, why do we all agree that he's the greatest power forward of all time? Why is he a first ballot Hall of Fame? Why did he win so many MVPs? Well, he only got 2, but he got 2 MVPs. Why is he getting all this? Why the title? If you look at the top 20 scores of all time, Tim Duncan is number 20. There's 2 power forwards ahead of him, Dirk and Karl Malone. So why is Tim Duncan the best power forward of all time? The reason why is because when we watch him play, we haven't seen a power forward better than him. We've seen all the tools that Tim Duncan has and said that we don't know another power forward that has played that has all of those tools. But Tim Duncan didn't use those tools every single night. He only used what he needed to win. If I only need the hammer to put this nail in, I'm not going to pull my screwdriver out. I'm not going to pull out my socket wrench if I just need the hammer tonight. So when you come out there and you got so much in your arsenal and your coach say the game plan for tonight is they got 2 7-footers, we're really going to need you to crash the boards tonight. And then you come out with 20 rebounds and control the boards against 2 7-footers, that's greatness. If we come out and say the way they played us last game, they was doubling Tony Parker and getting the ball out of his hands. So we're going to need you to make some plays once the ball come to you, because Tony's not going to be able to do it. And then you end up with 10 assists that game. That's greatness. If we are playing the Lakers and they say, look, man, they got 2 guys that can get 30, Kobe and Shaq. So tonight we need you to be the scorer and you go out and get 35 for your team. That's greatness. But to design an offense to where you can get 35, 10, and 10 every night is unnecessary. I don't need to see all of your tools every night. I don't need to see all of your tools every night, especially when you got teammates that got tools as well, right? If I'm Westbrook and one of my talents is passing, but I got to take a back seat to my center, I'm a point guard, and I can't pass. I can't distribute the ball. I got to let my center do it. Just because he's good at it doesn't mean he has to do it tonight. That's the difference. We still say Tim Duncan, even without the stats, even without triple doubles, we still say Tim Duncan is the best power forward of all time. When I was watching the basketball in the 90s, I was watching the game. The Lenny Wilkins was coaching the Hawks, and he had broke the record for the most wins in the regular season. I was like, man, Lenny Wilkins is the winningest coach. I don't know who got the most wins now. Let me look it up. But in the 90s, when I was watching it, Lenny Wilkins had the most wins, right? No one ever considered Lenny Wilkins. Nobody considered Lenny Wilkins as the greatest coach of all time, right? Before it was Phil, that was Red Auerbach, right? Most coaching wins of all time. Let's see who got it. According to NBA.com, it's Greg Popovich now, and Don Nelson, and Lenny Wilkins is number 3 now with 1,332 wins. And Don Nelson beat him by 3 wins, and Popovich has beaten Don Nelson by about 50 wins. So Popovich is the winningest coach now. He's got the most wins. Where is Phil Jackson at? Jerry Sloan got more than Phil Jackson at number 4. Pat Riley got more than Phil Jackson at number 5. Phil Jackson is at number. George Carr has more than Phil Jackson at number 6. But if you combine all of their rings as a coach, well, no. Popovich got 5. Don Nelson got 0. Wilkins got 0. Sloan got 0. Pat Riley He won. How many he won with the Lakers? I can't remember. Maybe 3 with the Lakers. Right. So that's 8. He didn't win with the Knicks. He didn't win. Did he win with the Heat? Yeah, he won 3 with the Heat. No, he won 1 with the Heat. So 9. He was the GM. The other 2 wins. He got 1. So 9 between all of them. George Karl 0. So 9 between the top 6 in front of Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson got 2 3-peats with the Bulls. That's 6. Got a 3-peat with the Lakers. That's 7. And then he got a repeat with the Lakers again with Kobe. That's 9. I'm sorry. 3. Why did I say 7? 3, 6, 9. And then he got 11. Right. 3 with the first 3-peat with the Bulls. Second 3-peat, that's 6. A 3-peat with the Lakers, that's 9. And then he won 2 with the Kobe and Gasol. That's 2 more. So that's 11. He got 11. So the top 6 coaches all combined don't have more rings than Phil Jackson. And that is why when we talk about the greatest coaches of all time, we're talking about Red Auerbach, maybe. But for the most part, for modern basketball, people are talking about Phil Jackson because we seen his triangle offense. We seen him do it with a 3-peat with Michael Jordan, and then he came back and then he did another 3-peat, and then he went to the Lakers and did it with Shaq and Kobe, and then Levin came back and did it with Kobe and Gasol. It's a no-brainer. He don't have the most wins all the time, but he got the most rings. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that ring. It's always been about rings. It's always been about how good you are. And then once we see how good you are, all right, we don't need to. That's not in question no more. You're a great player, one of the best players we ever seen. Now, how many rings can you get? It's always been about that, right? So if we look at the greatest coach, Phil Jackson, number 7 in wins, but he got 11 rings. We regard him as the greatest. Tim Duncan, not even top 10 in scoring. We got him as the greatest power forward. Magic Johnson, not top 10 in scoring. We got him as the best point guard. Larry Bird, he's not top 5 or top 10 in scoring. We got him as the greatest small forward. Michael Jordan, not number 1 in scoring. We got him as the greatest player of all time, period, and the greatest shooting guard. Center, Kareem was the only person who was at the top of the list, and that's because he decided to play 22 years as an old man. Everybody else was getting out in 15. He played an extra 5, 6, 7 years and got the scoring title. But people had whatever opinion we had about Kareem as the greatest center, we had already had about him before he got the number 1 scoring record. Nobody cared about that record. Nobody cared that Karl Malone was number 2. We still said Tim Duncan was better than him at this position. It's not about that. People just changed it to make it, and those stats it really don't mean that. That's what Wade is saying. He said people that want to win are sacrificing their stats. Tim Duncan sacrificed his stats. He could have got the ball as many times in the post as Shaq did, but he played in a system that Greg Popovich thought was more conducive to winning, and that system had Tony Parker handling the ball a lot, making decisions on the offense. Ginobili was running around wild. Everybody was getting fed. And when they needed Tim Duncan, this shows you how great Tim Duncan was. He was so great, he could put most of his game on a shelf and say, I'm not going to pull it off the shelf unless we need it. So if we could win with Tony Parker and Ginobili doing what they do with the offense, I'll just rebound, play defense, and score when I can. I can just score off schedule. But since I'm the greatest player on this team, if it's a close game in the fourth quarter and we need a bucket right now, I'm so good, I don't have to be in a crazy rhythm. Like I'm better than these players. They need the rhythm more than I do. I'm so good. Oh, you need me now? You need 2 points? Give it to me. Boom. 2 points. But now they doing it backwards. The best player is the only one getting in rhythm, and he's making his co-stars play cold all night. And then got the nerve to pass up the final shot to give it to a guy that's been cold all night. And we want to rely on that for the game winner. It was the right play. That's not how it worked. I get paid for to have all the pressure. I'm not going to pass the buck to you. Right? So that's what Wade is talking about, sacrificing. Tim Duncan sacrificed. Wade sacrificed. Yeah, I ain't got all the stats, but I got rings. And that's why we're not seeing Jokic win as much as Tim Duncan. He's going for the stats. If he changes his mindset and go for the wins, he would not have those triple doubles like that. He's going to empower Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. more. Michael Porter Jr. got so much to his game, but all he can do is shoot threes. I ain't never seen a 6'11" Klay Thompson. They only let this dude catch and shoot. He don't handle the ball. He don't run the break. He don't post up. He don't run off screens. It's catch and shoot. That's his role. Catch and shoot, play defense, block shots for Jokic. Insane. So you have to sacrifice, man. Gotta sacrifice.